Hey, what's up, Trail and Summit? My name's Austin Herzig. We're here at the base camp of Mount Hood. This is my bus, the Grand Bantam. Come check it out. So my bus is a 1998 Ford E450. It has about 138,000 miles. It gets about 9 miles to the gallon. I picked it up off of Craigslist from a couple who was going to convert it. Bought it from them for about $4,000. It's fully custom built. I built everything inside, of course, with the help of my friends. And when I built it at the time, I was with my ex-girlfriend, so I have to thank her for helping me out with all of it. But now I'm on the road solo. I'm in the Navy Reserves right now, so that brings me a little bit of income, but during the winter time I have 2 snowboard sponsors that help me travel around the PNW. If you get a chance, check them out. No Bad Day and then Mountain Vibes. Haven't had any issues in the snow. Right now these are just kind of regular van tires. It's a dually in the back. It's pretty heavy, so I've driven through like a foot of fresh snow and I haven't had any issues doing like 50. So this is the front of the bus. Like I said before, I was planning on doing a couple things. I have a friend who wants to weld me a nice heavy-duty bumper with a guard on the front. I'm going to update the headlights, probably make them LEDs. This is the old stop arm assembly, so I'll probably end up putting a snowboard on the front of it, just for looks really, and kind of something cool that'll make it unique. So obviously, this is where I fuel up here, and then right here is my fill up for my water tank. Right here I just have a normal fill up that I use with a regular garden hose. This one kind of flattens, so it's a space saver. And I have a filter hooked up directly to it. I think I picked up all this at Walmart, and it's fairly cheap. But so this filters my water as soon as it goes into the tank. I also have a city plumbing spot right here, which you can just hook up a garden hose to and it'll automatically pressurize your system. But I enjoy this. I picked up this off of Amazon for like, I don't know, 15 bucks. And it's made my life a lot easier filling my tank. So on the passenger side of the bus, I also have a handicapped door, which is really nice because whenever I'm parked somewhere and I'm laying in my bed, I can just open this up and I can look out at a beautiful mountain view or a nice beach or anything. Plus I have a ton of storage underneath my bed. As you can see, it's kind of packed right now. I'm on the road and I'm still building the bus, so I have a lot of tools that I need. And I also do my own mechanics on the bus, so I need all those automotive tools and parts and whatnot also. So here I have some drain pans for any fluids that you need to drain when you're working on your vehicle. I have screws, tools, carpentry tools. I have a helmet for my motorcycle, some chairs. My water tank's all the way in the back again. I have some lights. This is just a backpack cooler that I have. But right now I keep I keep my hose and my water supplies in it usually. But right now I'll show you what I do for a shower. I actually just used it for the first time last night, so I'm pretty excited about this. So during the winter time, I didn't build a bathroom or a shower in my bus, so it's still essential to take a shower, of course. You don't want to be smelling. But I use this Boss Mr. Buddy water heater. It's worked pretty well for me. It's battery operated. There's a little battery operated pump that hooks onto this side. It uses a small propane tank that you can buy pretty much anywhere. And then it's got the shower head here. All you do is flick it on, turn the pump on, and it'll ignite, and the next thing you know you have hot water. So for my second mode of transportation, I have a 1995 Kawasaki KLX. There's about 6,500 miles on it. I bought it from some guy for about 1,700 bucks. So I bought this for a trip I was going on to Colorado. I wanted to have a second mode of transportation in case I broke down. It turns out I needed it, broke down, had to ride this into town to fix my bus. replaced the alternator, and I was good to go. So it saved me in the long run. So this is my cab. As you can see, there's not much going on here. I don't even have a radio right now. I just use a Bose speaker. We're going to install speakers and a radio eventually, but for now that's how it's going to stay. Up here I have my bulletin board where I just kind of write down quotes or anything that pertains to my life that I feel is necessary to look at every day. I have a little mountain sculpture that my friend made for me. Thanks, Benji. And I have like coat racks and stuff so I can hang all my gear and dry everything. It's pretty nice to have. This is all magnetic too. I may end up taking it out eventually, but for now it's going to stay. Over here I have my little skateboard rack, and then eventually this is going to get a nice piece of live edge over the top of it. It's just kind of open right now. As you can see, most things need to be finished in this bus, but it's a work in progress. I have my shoe rack here, soccer cleats, climbing shoes, hiking boots, pretty much anything that you need I keep right here. It's really nice to have, especially right at the entrance of the bus. So this is my kitchen. For my fridge and freezer, I use the Dometic 75 CFX. It works great for everything that I need. Right now I just have it in all fridge mode because I have more storage that way. But it runs off a 12 volt. It doesn't use that much electricity, which is nice with my battery setup. I made this drawer myself with 200-pound drawer slides so that I can load this up as much as I need to and not have it break. And then you have to make sure and latch everything, because if you don't, all your stuff's going to go flying. You'll break your drawer slides, and yeah, not a good day. This is my pantry, essentially. It's a massive drawer, but I use these little locks to also make sure that nothing goes flying here. I keep all my dry goods in here, some Tupperware, and just random essentials that I need daily. Basically, in this one is just silverware. This one is cooking utensils. I'll have a little tip-out tray here for all my sponges and whatnot. So they have a place to dry and they get put away, and every bit of space is used because it's super important when you're living out of a van or a bus that you are very efficient with every bit of space. So, going to the countertop. The countertop I picked up at Home Depot. I got a deal on it because it had a crack in the end of it, but it turned out that the spot with the crack was exactly where my stove was going to go, which happened to work out perfectly. So they gave us a nice discount on that. It's live edge acacia wood, which is beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite things to look at in here. Eventually, if it gets messed up, I'll probably end up doing my own live edge epoxy river table or countertop. So for my water setup, I have 42 gallons of water in the back underneath my bed. That runs off of a 12 volt pump. So all I have to do is flip on this switch here, and then it's that easy. I have running water. Now I also use this in the summertime as a shower. All I do is I pop this window open here, and then I can turn this sink head straight outside, and then basically I can have my own outdoor shower. So it's dual purpose. It's really nice. I decided to go with an undermount sink because I thought it looked a lot cleaner than over the top ones. So for my range / stove and oven, I went with a Furrion. I looked at a lot of different ones. Some of them looked a little cheaper, and they were, but in the long run I wanted something that was going to be nice and lasted, and that was really efficient with propane. So yeah, this runs off of just a single propane tank that you would use for a grill, a 20-pound. It has 3 burners on top, and that's pretty much all you need. I probably only use 2 for the most part. And then a full oven, and it has some fancy lights on it that grab everybody's attention, which I really seem to like too. So So these cabinets, I built these myself. I even added undermount lighting that I bought off of Amazon. They're real cheap lights that are very easy to install. I ended up cutting a hole and then routering out where the wires were going to go so that everything was clean and nice. So you can't really see any of the wiring in here. But I also added them on a dimmer switch, which makes it really nice if I'm watching movies in here. I can just turn it down a little bit and you can still see where your things are if you want to grab your drink or whatnot. I decided to go with just a flush mount face on it because I thought it looked really clean. And I used these latches here that I also use as a handle that make it really easy and keep everything closed. But in here I have plates, bowls, cups, a tea kettle, coffee stuff, some spices, and then in here I have toiletries, cleaning supplies, and then this is kind of like my file cabinet where I'll keep my laptop and paperwork and whatnot. So this is just a 12-volt panel that I picked up off of Amazon also. It's a marine panel, so technically it's for a boat, but that means it's waterproof, and but it works really well. I only have a couple things hooked up to it right now. One is my water pump, and then I have a water tank heater, which in case I were to leave the bus for a long time in the winter, so my water didn't freeze, I could just flip that on and it'll regulate the temperature of my water. So I still have 3 open spaces, so I can add some more things, which is nice. It comes with like some USB plugs, a cigarette lighter plug, and it tells me my battery voltage. And this is my solar charge controller that comes from my 400 watt panels on top and goes to my 400 amp hour battery bank, which is underneath my couch. So on this side of the bus, we have the other cabinets that I handmade. I made these a little bit smaller only because I have a lot of friends that come and stay the night here during snowboard seasons, and they're usually 6 foot and above, so that way they can have plenty of headroom here and they can be comfortable hanging out. I keep a lot of things in here. I keep most of my video equipment, a little bit of like camera stuff here, and then like pots and pans on this side. That stuff may change because I have to finish the other side, so the pots and pans will probably go underneath the stove because it makes a little more sense to me. So then that'll open up all these though. So next I have my curtains. These are insulated curtains that my ex-girlfriend actually made. She did a really good job with them. So this is my couch. We upholstered it ourselves, also using fabric from Joann's, and we used a memory foam mattress off of Amazon, a 6-inch I believe, and we just cut it in half. I wanted to be able to have plenty of people to come stay with me during the winter because a lot of people know during the season it's tough driving up to the mountain and then back all in one day, so I figured I could make it easier for my friends and whatnot. So this pulls out into a full-size bed. Right now I keep the other cushion at the end of the bus behind my bed. That's going to change eventually. I may end up cutting that cushion in half so I can have a little back cushion here. But underneath this I also have my battery bank. I have 2 200 amp hour AGM batteries from Renogy, which goes into a couple different bus bars here, some shut-off switches, and a couple fuses. It'll all differ, and it depends on what size battery bank you run, what type of batteries. But all that runs into my 3,000 watt inverter / charger. So it will charge my batteries, and then it'll also convert 12 volt DC to 110 or 120 volts AC. So like a normal house plug. I also have a DC to DC charger here, 40 amp from Renogy, which is connected to my starting batteries of my bus. and then that goes to my alternator. So anytime I start my engine or drive the bus down the road, I can charge my batteries up that way. So I have 400 watts total, goes to my solar charge controller, and that regulates how much voltage is going to go to each one of my batteries. My voltage will get low if my solar panels don't bring in too much light, especially during wintertime. So that's why I installed this. And then I have an RV plug in the back that anywhere there's a plug-in for an extension cord, I can charge my batteries that way too. So back here behind the couch, I have my compartment that has my diesel heater in it. I made it kind of hidden, and I put a little bit of sound insulation on it because the only thing that you'll hear from it is the pump here and there. But I have a cutoff switch here because it's a Chinese diesel heater from Amazon. So I was kind of sketch about it. I wasn't sure how it was going to act, so I made sure that I could shut it off and cut the power to it at any time. But it's a 5 kilowatt super fast racing diesel heater is what the brand was, and it's one compartment. It has the tank, it has a 2-liter tank, and then it has the heater underneath, and the exhaust I had to cut a hole and run through the floor. This is the panel right here. It's pretty easy, you just click it on. This is the exit for the heat. Eventually I'm going to get something that looks a lot nicer. I went with diesel heat because it's a dry heat. Propane creates a lot of moisture, and I like the propane heat, and I have a propane stove, so I figured, oh, maybe I should go with a heater like that. But I snowboard a lot, and everything tends to get a little wet here in the Pacific Northwest, so I need my stuff to dry by the next day. So with a diesel heater, it creates a lot of dry heat, so that way everything dries a lot faster. So this is my bedroom. This is where all the magic happens. So what we got back here is a queen size memory foam mattress. It's actually 10 inches. If I were to do this again, I'd probably go smaller, but otherwise I like it the way it is right now. It's kind of nice having a fixed bed. I also built these storage cabinets here so that I can keep all my clothes and jackets and underwear and socks. So down here I'll have like flannels and long sleeve tees, and then in the center I'll have short sleeve shirts, shorts, pants, underwear, and then socks over here in the corner. I made a couple different entry points for it, so I didn't have to open up the whole thing each time, and I can use it to set stuff down, which makes it kind of nice. These ones over here, I keep my jackets and like some of my snowboard gear, I think. So now I'm going to show you how I access my solar panels that are connected to my battery bank. I go through the original emergency hatch that is on the bus. I don't have a ladder yet. I don't really need one, but eventually I'll install one. But for now, this is what I do. So as you can see, during the winter time, my solar panels will get covered with snow. So all I do is hop up here, use my fancy brush, and I just clean them off. Well, that about wraps it up. Thanks for checking out my bus. If you have any questions about your own build, or if you want to book a snowboard lesson, hit me up on Instagram at @Herzicane or @TheGrandBantamBus, or email me at thegrandbantamBus@gmail.com. But as you can see, it's snowing right now, so I'm probably going to go hit the slopes. See you guys later.